Hey besties, I'm Brea. I read 103 books last year. We're gonna rank them, so let's just get into it. I'm actually so afraid it's not recording the right screen right now. Oh, okay. It is recording on this screen. Okay, we're good. We're good. When I put all of these on here in the little tier maker, I thought that they were going to show up in the order that I downloaded them in. They did not. So I was going to talk about these in order of that I read them, but I just simply don't care enough to do that, so we're not doing it. Instead, we're going to do this in random order, in the order that it put them on here. I'm going to try to do series together, but we'll see. So this is my tier, my tiers that I came up with. I'm boring, so they're kind of boring, but it's fine. So we have Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift is my Lord and Savior. Also, if you can hear my husband downstairs, I apologize greatly. He's actually not being that loud. It's just that we have a 100-year-old house and the walls are paper thin, and he's right below me, so sorry ahead of time. The funny thing is, I don't think he can hear me, but I can absolutely hear him. So my tiers: Taylor Swift, we love her, we know her, my Lord and Savior. The second tier, no notes. Was it God tier? No. Did I really enjoy it? Yes. Third tier, mid, which is fair. These books were fine. They were middle of the ground, true neutral to these books, if not slightly positive. Then we have no. No. And that is actually not the worst tier. The worst tier is I actually can't. And there will be some in this tier. Now, I read 103 books this year, and if I'm being honest with myself, I will have some that I don't remember. As I was downloading these, I was like, I have no memory of what that book is about. I remember reading it, but I couldn't tell you what it was about. So for those ones, I'm not going to rank them. I'm just going to put them there. That's almost a ranking of its own, though, because if I don't remember it, it just means it didn't stand out to me at all. It means it wasn't, super positive, but also not super negative, so maybe that's a good thing. But we're just going to get right into it, and actually we're starting with a great one, Belladonna. Immediately Taylor Swift here. Immediately Taylor Swift here. I loved Belladonna. Where's Foxglove? Oh, it's right there. Duh. Yeah, Foxglove goes in there too. I didn't like it quite as much as Belladonna, but they go together. I love them. Also, I guess I didn't mention this, but I'm not going to tell you the plot of probably any of these books. There's just too many. We would be here for 8 years. So if you're interested in any of these books, look them up. I've talked about a good portion of them on my TikTok, but not that many. So here we have Namesake. I'm actually going to find Saint first. So Saint is the one that I read first, and I really liked Saint. I'm going to say no notes. No notes on that one. Then, though, I read Fable, which is right here.
Hi.
Hi. I'm ranking all the books I read this year. You're hurting me a little.
Last year.
Okay. Yes, last year. Look how many.
Holy shit.
Yeah. After that, I read Fable and Namesake, and they were mid, if I'm being completely honest. I think part of the issue is that I read Saint first, and I liked it so much, so Fable and Namesake were disappointing. Then we have Heartless Hunter. That's tough, but I think I'm going to say no notes. I did love it, but it's not God tier for me. Moves of the Dead. I love how I just told him that I was trying to make a video, and he's downstairs yelling. It's fine, everything's fine. This was my first foray into T. Kingfisher, and I did enjoy it, so I'm going to say no notes. Okay, so I read a bunch of Karen Slaughter books, one after the other. Not only can I not tell them apart, I can't tell you what a single one of them is about. Yeah, I have no idea. I feel like there's another one in here somewhere. The Last Time I Lied. I'm gonna put this in no. Riley Sager and I'm just gonna go ahead now and put them in no. Riley Sager and I are not, we just don't mesh, which is so funny because if you don't know me, my maiden name is Sager, which is a super not common name. At least I don't think it is. There are not that many of us around here. So it was just kind of funny to me when I saw his books. I was like, oh, I need to read those, thinking that I would, maybe like them. I don't. Yeah, he's being so loud down there. I really hope you can't hear him. Oh, there it is. Hate them. I just don't like them. So we're going to say no. Then we have Ruthless Vows. Is Divine Rivals on here? Did I read Divine Rivals this year? No, I think I read Divine Rivals last year. I think I read it last year. Rebecca Ross is a god tier author for me. As you can see, A River Enchanted and A Fire Endless are on here. These were rereads. I don't usually reread books very often, but these were rereads for me this year. And Rebecca Ross just like automatically god tier for me. I love her so much. I will read any book she comes out with. I do not stand for A River Enchanted or Divine Rivals slander on my channel. No. The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I'm going to say mid. I remember thinking it was fine. It was fine. The Last Mrs. Parrish. Gosh, this is hard. I almost feel like I should have done like another tier in between these two because I liked The Last Mrs. Parrish, but I don't know if it's no notes worthy. Okay, we'll say no notes because I did like it more than I didn't, you know? Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi immediately got tier. These two books, I don't know why that's highlighted. These two books I have thought about all year. I cried so much during both of them. I loved them. I am very much a mood reader, and that is the unfortunate thing about the third book in this series. It is out. I have tried to listen to it, but it's just been too long. I don't know. I did love these books, but I can't get into the third one, and it has nothing to do with the third one. Like, I can't even get past the first couple pages. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not ready to go back to this world. Honestly, these books wrecked me so much that I ended up reading Heartstopper right after, which, again, god tier. But I ended up reading Heartstopper right after because I needed a palate cleanser so badly. And so I feel like they kind of traumatized me a little bit, and maybe that's why I can't go to the next one yet. But Dowry of Blood is a big no. I am so disappointed in this book. I wanted to like it so much. I was loving it at the beginning, and then it just went really downhill really fast for me. I truly feel like Constanta told all the wrong parts of her story. Like, she told all the boring parts of her story and none of the good, interesting parts. So that sucked. The Graham Effect, no notes. I loved it. That was my first Elle Kennedy book I've ever read, and I did really like it. I think I tried to read The Deal next, but I DNF'd it, and I don't really think it was because I wasn't liking it. I think, again, I'm a mood reader, so it is what it is. Then, okay. So, Throne of Glass is a no. So sorry. Crown of Midnight is mid. I did not like Throne of Glass. I liked the general premise, but the writing was so bad that it was really hard to get through. Crown of Midnight was fine. I really, truly just don't have a big desire to continue in this world right now, though. So maybe I'll finish the series, maybe I won't. Parable of the Sower, no notes. I really liked Parable of the Sower. It was a really fun delve into this really cool world, and it was kind of creepy because when I read it, it was like right around the time of like the first date in the book. And so that was creepy, but it was good. I really liked it. If you are looking to read like an older dystopian YA novel, I recommend it. I had a really big problem with the age gap romance that happens in it. It's like, romance is such a, like, it's not the right word. It's not really a romance in the true sense of a romance, but there is an age gap relationship that happens in it, and I actively hated it. However, I think that Octavia E. Butler was making a statement with that relationship, and I think that statement went over my head. That being said, I still hate it, but overall I loved the book, and I definitely recommend it. Then I finally read Finale, and I'm gonna say mid. I liked Caraval the best, and then the next two, Legend and Finale, I liked less. I think a big reason is I like Scarlet. I really, really hate Donatella, truly. So, yeah, that is that. Okay, next we have Midnight is the Darkest Hour, and I want to say, where's the other book? I read another book by this author, and I have no idea where it is. I feel like you guys are looking at my screen right now, like yelling at me, like, it's right there. Oh, wait, Last Housewife. Yes, okay, so this one, actually, both of these books are God tier. I talk about them a lot. Midnight is the Darkest Hour is a like religious trauma-esque book that hit me hard. I really liked this book. It was very dark. It was very good. And this is a perfect example of I read these two books back to back. They're by the same author. They're like both thrillery books, and I distinctly remember each book. So it is not necessarily just because I read them back to back to back to back. It's just because they're kind of forgettable books. Yeah, this one is like a religious trauma one. This one is like a culty, like domestic violence one, and it's really good. It's really hard to read. It's really sad, but oh my gosh, it's good. I loved it. So highly recommend these two books. They're by Ashley Winstead. If you can't see, I don't think that the way that this is cropped, you can't really tell. I finally read The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake, and I'm gonna say, again, like it doesn't really fit in mid. So I'm gonna say no notes. I enjoyed it. I did. I really liked it. Another perfect example of I can't get into the next ones for some reason. So eventually I'll probably read them, but for now. Okay, then I read the Chestnut Springs series. I don't know why I keep saying then as if this is the order I read them in. It's not. But also I read the Chestnut Springs series. Where is the first one? Oh, Flawless. Okay, Flawless was my least favorite. I'm going to say mid. Then Powerless, also mid. Reckless, odd tier. Loved Reckless. Heartless was, oh, I hated the relationship in Heartless. Yeah, that's the big age gap one, right? Didn't like that. That one was honestly kind of boring. Hopeless. I think I'm ranking these correctly. But yeah, this is how I felt about the Chestnut Spring series. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, that's all of them. I did really enjoy them as a whole. But as far as like favorites go, these two for sure. I did like Powerless. Flawless was fine. And Heartless, well, I really hate age gap relationships. So no. The Teacher. No, absolutely. I hated this book. I hated it so much. I need to talk about it with someone. My aunt has read it, but she didn't really talk to me much about it. I hated it. I truly hated it. I can't talk about it because it's spoilery, and I don't want to spoil it for you because Frida McFadden is a beloved author and maybe you'll want to read it, but I hated it. I have no idea what happened in this one. I remember not liking. Actually, you know what? No, I remember not liking this one. This is Caught by Harlan Coben. It's cut off weird, but yeah, I remember not liking it. I remember there's some weird stuff that happens in it, and I hated it. Along for the Ride. I'm gonna say no. Wait, no, this one's mid. That one's fine. No. Hilariously, I started reading some Sarah Dessen books again this year. I read Sarah Dessen as a teenager, and I loved Sarah Dessen so much. I read like a lot of her books. Keeping the Moon is what this one was, and that was actually my favorite one. But now, no, we do not like the way that Sarah Dessen portrays weight and dieting, and I was very triggered by this book. This one is fine. They're very much YA, but this one was fine. Wayward. I did really like Wayward. I did not want to finish that book. My friend Claire recommended it to me and actually bought it for me, and I read all the way up until the last like 25 pages, and then I just simply did not want to know what happened in that book, so I refused to finish it. And I finally finished it, and I loved it. How to Kiss Your Grumpy Boss is a no. Actually, honestly, I can't. Like, this was such a stupid book. It was so dumb. This one was just, I do remember this one, but I did not like it. Okay. Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. I truly loved Every Heart a Doorway. I was very moved by it. I was very intrigued by it. Loved it. The second one, though, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, was just kind of too dark for me. So I'm gonna put it in mid. It was good. I did enjoy it, but it was dark. I think I read it in October though, which was, good timing. All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers was a no, which I feel kind of bad because I did listen to her podcast for a while and I did really want to like it, but the writing was just really, truly awful. Heartstopper 2, 100%. Let me put them next to each other. That'll make me happier. Yeah, Heartstopper 2, God tier. Taylor Swift all the way. The Switch. The Switch was really boring. I was bored by the Switch very much. Practice Makes Perfect, God tier. I am a Sarah Adams girly. I really am. Is Sarah Adams a God tier author for me? No. She's not an auto God tier author for me. However, this book, I don't know, it hit all the right boxes for me. I was obsessed with the main character. I want to say her name was Allie. I could be making that up. But I was obsessed with the main character. She was literally so precious. I loved her. Everything about that was great. Okay. Amy Dawes is my guilty pleasure author, and 9-month contract was pretty good. That's all I had to say about that. The Burnout was pretty boring, but it wasn't that bad, so I'm gonna say mid. Five Total Strangers, again, mid. I remember what happens. I remember enjoying it. It was fast paced. I got through it pretty quickly, but it wasn't like mind blowing. Ledge. Oh, this is hard. Ledge by Stacey McEwen. I do really like Stacey McEwen, so I really wanted to love this book, and I did not hate it by any means. I did enjoy it, but is it no notes worthy? I think the reason that I'm having a hard time doing this is because I actually could not finish the second book, and again, I think that it's just because I am such a mood reader, and I just wasn't in the mood. So I'm gonna say no notes. My vibes are telling me no notes. Keeper of Enchanted Rooms was mid. I did like it. Starling House was no notes. I really enjoyed it. Gilded, no. Once Upon a Broken Heart. This whole series was no notes. I really liked it. So I think the next one is Ballad of Never After and then A Curse for True Love. That could be back. That might be backwards, actually. I don't remember. Either way, no notes. Just the Nicest Couple. I can't tell you what that was about. Swordcatcher was... oh, gosh. No notes. I did really like it. No. This book was so boring. Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. No, I don't like Sally Thorne. I don't like, what's her other book? Shoot. It like got made into a movie with Lucy Hale. I didn't read the book, but I watched the movie and it was stupid. So, The Dilemma. I can't, like, I remember this book. I remember liking it. I can't remember what the dilemma was though. Like, I'm thinking about it. Oh, I do remember. I'm gonna say mid because I remember not liking the outcome of this book. Like, it kept me on the edge of my seat. I wanted to know what was happening, but also it wasn't that good in the end. So Counting the Cost, I almost don't want to rank a nonfiction. I don't read a lot of nonfiction, but like I don't want to rank it. I do have a memory, but I don't want to rank it. It was good. I have religious trauma. A lot of what she talked about was really interesting, and I saw some people criticizing like the fact that she didn't like shit on her religion more or shit on her parents more, and like I feel like she just told her story and that was fine. I truly don't remember The Coworker at all. All the Feels. Which one? I'm gonna say no. There were times I enjoyed it, but for the most part, this was my first Olivia Dade, and I do not like how Olivia Dade talks about plus-size people, which is funny because I think she's a plus-size people, but I don't like the way that Olivia Dade writes plus-size people. And I don't know if she's a plus-size girly, but as a plus-size girly, it was not for me at all. But, like, there were parts of the story that I did like. Check in May is, oh gosh, no notes. I gave it 5 stars. I do stand by that decision, but I don't know if it's God tier. But I did really enjoy it. The Paradise Problem was very mid. Very mid, bordering on no, but it's Christina Lauren. So, like, I had a great time while I was also not really enjoying the book. One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. These and Belladonna give the same vibes to me, and they are spooky, dark, but like not dark romance in the sense of like illegal, disgusting stuff, which if you're into that, that's fine, but I'm not. Dark romance in like the dark, twisty, moody feeling with romance. I love. I remember, so this is Vari McFarlane, Don't You Forget About Me, and there was another one, which is somewhere, it's right here. Both of these books made me cry, and yet I think I gave them both 2 stars. I'm putting them in no, although I can't remember exactly what happens. This one of their friends dies, and it's sad, but so boring. And then this one, something else made me cry. I don't remember what, but I didn't like them. Mr. Wrong Number is actually I Can't. That was so stupid. One of Our Own by Lucinda Berry. I do not remember what this is about. The Bromance Book Club. The romance book club is a no notes, and then undercover bromance is mid. This is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, and it is immediately Taylor Swift tier. I don't know why I clicked with this book so much. I loved it so much. Objectively, it's not that great of a book. It's not Christina Lauren's best work, but I loved it, and that's all that matters. The Serpent in the Wings of Night is no notes. Same with The Prison Healer. I really enjoyed both of them, but they're not God tier books. Project Hail Mary, no notes. This was actually the first book that I read this year, and I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I don't think I read any other sci-fi. Oh, I did. I did read one more sci-fi, but still, sci-fi is not a genre that I read a lot of, but I want to read more. I'm just very picky, and I actually thought that I wasn't gonna like Project Hail Mary because there's no romance in it, but, well, there's no romance in it in the sense that, like, I think that there's, in some of the flashbacks, there's like a little bit of a love interest, but I don't remember for sure. Either way, though, there's no romance in it. But I really liked it. So, A Flicker in the Dark, I don't remember. The Last House on Needless Street is no. It was also one of the first books that I read this year, I believe. I read it early on this year. And I saw what the author was trying to do. It didn't hit for me. This is Thrown in the Dark by a something Cagiani. I wish I could see it. I'm gonna say mid. I don't really remember much about it. I do think I liked it though. Like, I remember things about it. Like, they went on a little adventure. There were some weird beings. He's like the devil or something like that. Or D was a no. It's so funny because, like, I enjoy Frida McFadden books in the moment, but then when I, like, try to think about them later, I can't even remember what they were about, or I just remember an overall feeling of eh. So I don't know. Serpent and Dove, no notes. I really enjoyed it, but again, couldn't get into the next book. Don't know why. I'm like, actually, though, like, over halfway through the next book, and I still just can't. This book I hated. It's A Couple Next Door. I think it's by Sherry LaPena, and I hated it. I thought it was really stupid. I thought it was really unbelievable. I thought there were a lot of plot holes. So, Uprooted is no notes. Here's the thing about Uprooted. I hate the age gap, but this was a scenario in which I was able to overlook it. Usually, if it's in a fantasy setting, do I like it? No. Do I think that we need to stop doing that? Yes. If it's in a fantasy setting, though, can I usually look past it? Also, yes. So, yeah, loved Uprooted. Truly, I can't believe it took me so long to read it. It was like almost a year of me, like, continually trying to check it out and then not reading it, like, from my library. But I think it was in January, maybe February, where I finally was like, I'm reading it. And I did, and I loved it. Queen Bee, I actually can't. That book was hot garbage. No one is watching is, gosh, again, mid seems so, like, harsh for this book because I did enjoy it. We'll say no notes. We'll say no notes. We Were Never Here. No notes. This one is about two, like, best friends who go on vacation together and something really awful happens, and then they go on vacation together and it happens again. And one of them is insane. So, yeah, that's not a spoiler. I don't think that's a spoiler. Sorry if that's I don't think it's a spoiler. Just Another Missing Person. I have no recollection of that book. See how, like, 90% of these, well, yeah, because I actually do remember this one. So all of these are thrillers. Faking with Benefits is I actually can't. Part of me feels bad for that because at the end of the day, my best friend and I picked this for a little book club that we were doing, and I knew going in I wasn't going to like it. So, like, how do you rate a book or, like, talk about a book that you knew you weren't gonna like? Anyways, I hated it. Peaches and Honey, God tier. I love Peaches and Honey. If you loved The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, you need to read Peaches and Honey. Please, it's so good. Another symptom of me being a mood reader is I have not gotten into the second book yet, but I've been really considering going back to it. I started it, I just, again, wasn't in the mood, so I moved on, but I'm feeling like I'm in the mood now, so I think I'm gonna go back to this one. Okay, we're so close. I feel like I've been talking for an hour. Sorcery of Thorns, God tier. The vibes, immaculate. Also, I'm pretty sure I read A Study in Drowning this year. I'm gonna have to look into that, because I really thought that I did. Was that really last year? Anyways, Sorcery of Thorns, there's magic, there's books that have magic. I love, love, love. No recollection of this book. I vaguely remember this book, but like not enough. Love Light Farms was shoot. I'm not putting it in no notes because I do have notes, but I did enjoy it. So like mid is again, it's kind of harsh. Annibot, no notes. Annibot was great. I loved it. It was a really fun time. It did lose me a little bit a couple times. Like, not a lot happens. But overall I really enjoyed it. To Complete is God tier. It's a novella. It's Ali Hazelwood. It's Christmas time. I loved it. God tier. Into the Drowning Deep was no notes. That was a wild ride and I loved every second of it. And Holiday Romance was mid. So sorry about that, but I got bored and then I ended up skimming the last like quarter of it. So, wow, I did it. That is all 103 books that I read in 2024. It was a great reading year. As you can see, I read a lot of great books. Like a lot of those books are in the first 2, 3 categories. So I had a great reading year last year. I've been hearing so many other people on like BookTube and Book talk about how awful their reading year was, and I feel bad for them because I had a great reading year. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you are new, please subscribe. Please like my videos so that I can start actually getting pushed out to people. That would be swell. But yeah, come back soon. I'm gonna do the newbie tag for BookTube because I don't have that many videos posted and I feel like I'm a little bit of a newbie, so I can do whatever I want and I want to do it. So I am going to shoot that video probably tomorrow and get it up here in the next couple of days. I am not committing to a posting schedule at this exact moment because I'm going to school full-time and working full-time, but if you want to check out my other videos, I do have a couple posted and you can kind of get to know me a little bit better. But yeah, that is all. Bye.